Hello lettering friend, I'm Sarah from Ensign Insights, and in this video I'm going to review the brand new Karin markers gel pens. And I have to start out by saying this video is not sponsored, but I am a little biased because I love Karin. Their very first brush markers that they made are my absolute favorite brush pens. So I kind of love everything they make. But you know, I love to give totally honest reviews. I never want to convince you to buy anything unless it is totally right for you. Karin did send these to me, and I checked their website and it says that they'll be available to purchase in North America very soon. So let's get right into it. These are called the Karin Deco gel pens. There are 3 sets. They come in these beautiful boxes. There's the metallic, the Star Sparks, and the Milky Way. They all have a 1mm tip, but let's check out what's different between these. So first we have the Star Sparks here, and there are 20 pens. It comes with this paper that describes what you need to know about them. It basically says you can use it on bright or dark paper surfaces. You can also use it over watercolor or markers and acrylic. Here's what the pen looks like. You can see it has Star Sparks on it, and then it has the name of the color of the pen with a number, so you can keep all of your pens organized. Although I do wish the difference between the pens were a little more obvious, like different colored caps or something. But next, let's move on to the Milky Way set. This one comes with 10 colors, and they're really bright. I can't wait to share what they look like on black paper. The color behind the title is different, and then it does have the name once again. And I really like the nice soft grip on these pens. You'll see that more as I start writing with them. And the third set of pens is the metallic pens. This one also comes in a set of 20. And these cases have a magnetic closure, so they're a really nice box to use. Although they're not the most portable, which is important to me, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them in this or something else. I'll let you know when I figure that out. These pens click right in, although some of them are not very tight. So as you place them in and then you close it, it falls right out. That's not a huge deal, especially if I'm not going to be even keeping them in these cases at all. Now let's swatch these. So I wrote on some white paper, glued them into my journal so that I could have the different titles and see all of the pen swatches on one spread. Okay, I have to share with you this crazy coincidence. So I wanted to start using my black Archer and Olive journal more this year. So I recently needed to get some new pens. So I'm trying the Jelly Roll pens, and I got the Starry set or Stardust, and then the Moonlight set, and then the metallic set. And it just so happens that these are the 3 types of sets that are basically what the Karin markers are. And I can't do a very good comparison video right now. Maybe that will come in the future. But I haven't even used these very much yet because they're brand new. Like I said, I just wanted to start using my black journal more. And I guess that just goes to show that these 3 different sets of markers are the ones that are going to give you the right variety. They're the ones that I wanted to choose myself, even before knowing that that's the only 3 that Karin had. Let's take a look at the Star Sparks swatches. So the main difference with these pens is that these are glitter pens. So it's really shiny and really sparkly. I'm using white paper from my Archer and Olive journal, and then the black, of course, from the Archer and Olive journal. And you can see that the grip of the pen is really nice because it has that soft rubber piece on it. So I really appreciate that little detail. And I'm just writing the names that are on the pen itself. It also has a number, so it's like 201, 202, 203, and then the other set would be 301, 302, 303. That way you can always put it back in the original order that it came in. So that's kind of nice. And it is a nice detail that they are named, because I don't think I've seen any other gel pens that have the actual name of the color on the pen. And it's details like that that definitely make Karin markers unique over other pens. And I will say about the Star Sparks pens with the glitter does tend to get everywhere. So like when I closed this page, there's glitter on the other side now, and that's not something that's just going to dry. That is something that I've noticed with any type of glitter pen that I've ever used. The glitter just likes to come off, which is totally fine if you're okay with having glitter on the other side of your page in your journal, or just make sure that whatever you're making with it isn't touching things that you don't want to get glitter on. But typically, glitter that gets on other things can be rubbed right off. And the other thing about the Star Sparks set, I think they're not the brightest on black paper of all the 3 sets. They're still pretty bright and that glitter is really sparkly, but the other sets stand out a little bit more on the black paper than these ones. And you'll see what I mean when I have all 3 of them together. And paper totally matters. So on the right side here, I was using regular cardstock, and you can see that it doesn't show up very well, the colors. So if you are using black paper and you feel like it's not looking very good, it might just be that's not very good quality paper and the ink is sinking too much down into the paper. You want to try some other type of black paper. The only black paper that I know of that I recommend that's good are the Archer and Olive notebooks. My black cardstock is just from the craft store and clearly it's not the best. Next, let's take a look at the Milky Way pens. There are 10 in this set and this is definitely my favorite. The colors are so bright. They look great on white, but they really pop on black. On white, it's kind of hard to see some of them, like the bright green and the yellow, because they're a little bit neon, but on the black, they look so good. And one thing I've noticed about these pens, they flow really nicely. Every once in a while, they'll skip a little bit if I'm going fast, but as long as I'm going slow, the ink flows out really nicely. I definitely think that I'll be using these Milky Way ones the most of all 3 sets. And one thing I appreciate about this set, it comes with a white one and a black one. Oftentimes, pens will only come with the white or the black, thinking that you're only going to use them on white paper or only on black paper. So I did appreciate that it comes with white and black, so I can choose. I do have the black or the white that shows up really well on black paper. Let me show you another example of how paper really does matter. So here I'm just using the black cardstock paper that I had from the craft store, and the ink is sinking right into the paper. It doesn't show up very well, like it's fine, but it's not the best. And then look what I made on my Archer and Olive journal. It looks so good. This made me feel so excited. I just want to do all the styles in these Milky Way colors now. This was so much fun to make. It really, really pops on this paper. And now let's take a look at the metallic set. So when you think of pens that need to go on black paper, I normally would think, oh, I need metallic pens. So I was really excited to try these ones out. A lot of the names here are the same as the Star Sparks names. A few are a little bit different, but a lot are the same. So the underlying color is pretty similar to the Star Sparks, except these ones are metallic, so it's just a shiny surface. It doesn't have the same glitter that the Star Sparks has. And another thought about how many pens there are. So there's 20 in the metallic and the Star Sparks and only 10 in the Milky Way. And honestly, I think 10 is plenty. So it'll be interesting to see if I use all 20 of the metallic and Star Sparks, because what I've noticed is with any set of pens that I have, normally I don't need 50 or 100 colors, even though you think more is better, right? But I've found that typically when I get a huge set of pens, I narrow it down to like my top 10 or 12 that I use constantly. And that helps me to be able to use them more often because I'm not wondering which color should I choose. I have this set of colors that I like to use and I know I'll use every time. And then every once in a while I can switch them out with more colors, but I don't need all the colors to be able to create beautiful hand lettering. And another thing I've noticed about these pens, they do take a long time to dry, which I think is pretty normal with this type of inky gel pen, especially on my Archer and Olive journal, because the ink is kind of sitting on the top. It's not sinking into the paper, which is why it stands out so much. But that is going to mean that it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So especially for you lefties out there, you're going to want to watch out for that. I have smudged it a little bit and I'm a righty, but it does take a really long time to dry. So for example, with this swatch page, I think it was after like maybe half an hour I closed my journal, and then looking back at it now, there's a few spots where the ink is on the other side of the page. It's not that noticeable, but I can definitely tell that I closed it a little too early. So then when I did the Milky Way styles that you saw, I made that at night, and then I just didn't close my journal for the whole night. And in the morning, when I was able to close my journal, it didn't leave any ink on the other side. So I don't know how long it takes to dry, but especially in those Milky Way ones that you saw, there was a ton of ink on those. I was filling in a lot of little spaces. So definitely leave enough time for it to dry. If it needs to be overnight, I don't know, maybe a couple hours, but just be aware of that. That's one reason why it looks so good, because it's not drying for a while, but you don't want to ruin what you've made. So for my initial review of these pens, I love them. We will see in the next few months if I use them more often and what I make with them. The ink flows out really well. There's minimal skipping. They are great quality, show up on good quality black paper. I do still wish that the pens were a little more obviously different. So like different colors of caps or something to know the difference between the different sets. But I'm really excited about these because I just love Karin. They really do think about the details in the products that they make. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to binge all of my other review videos, I will link that playlist right here, and I will see you there.